What's your guys' time this week so far? I'm bringing out something a little different. We've been doing Warhammer and SCP universe for quite a while now, and I thought we could kind of change up a little bit, introduce some different videos, kind of just make a little more bulk, a little bit more variety. I probably should say, be a little bit better term for that. And I was thinking, just why not do like a Star Wars video? And I've been just thinking of other games we could look at, other content creators too, and then. Of course, we're not going to slow down with Warhammer or SCP. That's never going to slow down because I love those two universes, and we're going to be just watching and reacting to a ton more of those videos. So that's not stopping. That's not slowing down anytime soon. But see just other videos that we could do and kind of see how they go and see if you guys enjoy them. But I'm definitely excited for it. Like I said, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I guess you could call me even a huge Star Wars nerd, but I love anything Star Wars. I've always loved it ever since I was a kid. So I'm definitely excited for this video. You guys check out the original creator, be in the description. Make sure to show them some love. If you guys enjoy my content, you guys enjoy my reactions, please hit the like and subscribe. Let's get to it. I'm excited for this video, man. Oh, there's Halo 2. Oh, cool. Word.
I have a bit of a funny story to go along with today's video, and we've got to go back to 1998. I was 6 years old. I didn't have the internet in my house. I was the biggest Star Wars fan ever. I'd be so proud of where I am today. But back in those days, I hoped there would be more Star Wars movies, but I didn't really think about it. I was 6. I went into the theaters to see some movie with my mom, and I see a trailer. These tanks going over a grassy field. I remember
Phantom Menace,
looking at
baby.
my mom and saying with full confidence, there's another Star Wars movie. And of course, I was right. What's interesting is that the scene itself doesn't really tip its hand, but something about the design of the AAT and the MTT just screamed Star Wars to me. And I know I'm probably getting this story a little bit wrong. Maybe this wasn't the first trailer, just the first one I saw. Maybe it was in '99. Either way, these vehicles were always episode 1 to me, and I find the MTT fairly interesting. It's a troop carrier and certainly not the first one we saw in Star Wars. The AT-AT is at least theoretically a troop carrier.
It's so
called
goofy.
an armored transport, but it doesn't seem like troops would be exiting at any real speed. Whereas the MTT facilitates the first really big infantry battle we see in Star Wars.
A lot of them too, bro.
Napoleonic style combat, far different than the Vietnam.
Like if you think of that, bro, just for a second here, all right, just the sheer amount of troops that it could deploy is ridiculous. And how fast it does as well. Sure, they're just B1s. They're not durable. They're really that great at anything. But again, this Trade Federation, the Separatists, this time it was just a Trade Federation, are about bulk. More shots they're shooting down range, the more chance of hitting, And this carrier did just that. I mean, just the sheer bulk of troops that they could deploy. It's ridiculous. I think there's there's a good bit of these troop transports right now in this line,
Star
but like
Wars,
in
Napoleon.
a second, look at that. Look how much they deployed in matter of like a minute. They deployed all these troops. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy, dude. It's super cool.
Style combat, far different than the Vietnam-esque skirmishes of the original trilogy. The MTT, though, just generally is a smart design, and what's interesting to me is that although it has some similarities to something like a World War II era lander, primarily the fact that troops are disgorged from the front, aesthetically it's completely alien. But the design goes beyond just being effective. It's actually quite terrifying when used correctly. I'll read a brief excerpt from the new Essential Guide to Vehicles. The Trade Federation's MTT, also known more generally as a Trade Federation Large Transport, is an exceptional vehicle. Integral to the Trade Federation's secret army, the MTT allowed the company to move a staggering number of battle droids at a moment's notice. One of my main sort of strikes against the Trade Federation, and more generally the Confederacy of Independent Systems, is that they didn't often enough rely, especially on the ground, on the unique properties and advantages afforded to them by a droid army. There are some exceptions to this. The MTT is one. Another good one is the droid dropship, the HMP. Because droids don't need air, they can be thrown around, they basically just attach troops to the outside and drop them into battle. Very fast, very effective, very deadly. The benefit of the MTT
Remember,
isn't
they're all about
really
numbers,
the
guys.
speed in which it disgorges troops, but rather the sheer amount of battle droids which can be carried. Because of the unique nature of the folding battle droid, plus a state-of-the-art deployment rack, the MTT can carry 3 times as many droids
Look at that,
as
dude.
a similar
Look at
transport.
that. Look at
And
that
this
shit.
thing isn't meant for speed, rather it's a rhinoceros. The front of this thing is almost impenetrable. Not only is it all armor and shielding, but anything vital to the craft's performance is put at the back. I really can't overstate just how sturdy this thing was and how terrifying it would be, especially if you're in the Naboo security forces and you really don't have much beyond small arms fire. Like, this thing is unstoppable. The MTT was made by Bactoid Armor Workshop, so that's probably not surprising given their reputation. The CIS Super Tank, for example, also a Bactoid
These were nuts
Industries
too, bro.
product. The benefit there was not only that they could make something sturdy, but as I alluded to, they knew how to work with droids. Originally, the MTT was going to have more internal space, but most of that was sacrificed in favor of the rack system, although there still
So dope.
remains some extra storage capacity for destroyer droids and the like. Later, the MTT would be modified to accommodate other Trade Federation and CIS
B2s?
designs. But the fact that the MTT remained pretty much the exact same, except for some of the inside configurations throughout the entire Clone Wars, is really impressive, especially when you consider the fact that before the Battle of Naboo, the MTT was untested. Naboo was its first real live combat experience, and it did well, even though it was not designed for the type of battles which were often occurring in Naboo streets. So the general modus operandi for the MTT was, alongside other units and fire support, drop troops off and let them battle. The heavy armor meant that the MTT could survive a lot in order to get somewhere safe to allow troops to unload. Of course, we see at the
Can
Battle
take it
of
down,
Naboo
bro.
that it's also great to transport an occupying force, but really any vehicle with a large enough capacity can do that. The MTT's unloading efforts are aided by 2 large anti-personnel cannons, and to be honest, I'd like to see a little more in terms of blasters here. Like, these cannons, they're good. The incredible cross sections actually confirms that they're ball turrets, so they're not limited to firing just straight ahead, which would be silly, but I would probably sacrifice a little bit of the shielding for even an extra turret at the top of the vehicle.
Yeah, that's a
Aside
good
from
point.
being deployed in standard
You know, just have like a separate, like, I don't want to say ball turret, but just have like a separate compartment turret. They could spin, 360 degrees and whatnot. You could cover the top end of it. You could shoot down on the sides and the back of it. Yeah, I could see that. It's definitely a weak point because, like, it says all the important, stuff is in the back of it. And, sure, your front heavy and your blasters are right there, which is good. Straight on fight, you're good. But if there's nothing behind you and they get behind you, well, you're kind of in a world of hurt, So you need something to cover your rear, and they don't have it there.
large-scale combat, the MTT was actually effective in urban environments because it could simply crash through walls. Imagine, you think you're secure and not only is a wall crashing down, but suddenly you have 100 battle droids being unloaded. Quite terrifying. This is actually contemplated by the incredible cross sections, which said the MTT is designed for deployment in traditional battle lines, hence their heavy frontal armor. Reinforced and studded with case-hardened metal alloy studs, the MTT's face is designed to ram through walls so that troops may be deployed directly into enemy buildings, or future customer buildings, as the Trade Federation often prefers to say. The thing was designed to both look and act like the Trade Federation version of a Rhino, hence why I called it one earlier on. What's interesting, you may have noticed this if you paid attention in the Phantom Menace to the battle scenes, is that there's actually, alongside the MTT, a smaller droid troop carrier, which is essentially one of the MTT's racks on a repulsor lift sled. This obviously allows much more mobile deployment of troops, but offers none of the security of the MTT. Ideally, you use the two in conjunction, and just in general, the MTT is not the most flexible vehicle.
So yeah, right there. That's one of the side effects is if your troops aren't deployed, they can just light them up too. you know?
Effective at what it does, you'll need to support it. And the good thing for the Trade Federation is they have many, not only vehicle models, but even droid models, which could serve in this role perfectly. One of the MTT's big vulnerabilities is that it's got no weaponry protecting its flank or its rear. The thing is designed for taking a head-on threat. You'll need to protect it with either droids on the ground, an array of MTTs probably, or an entire battle formation with lighter anti-personnel vehicles. Theoretically, as a repulsor lift vehicle, the MTT may also be vulnerable to anti-repulsor lift technology. Sometimes you'll hear about that in Star Wars reference books, but aside from it being fully disabled like you'll see in Star Wars Battlefront, you don't really see repulsor lifts fail. Like, widespread repulsor lift jamming technology, despite what some reference books may have told you, doesn't seem to be common at all. Either way, I really love the design of the MTT.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Vehicle. But is there something from the Clone Wars or beyond you'd like to see me cover next? Maybe a Republic tank, a CIS tank? I look forward to hearing all of your
stuff,
thoughts
man.
down below.
Oh. What the hell? I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a different video, but like I said, I want to change it up a little bit, put some different content on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I didn't know half the stuff about the MTT. I just knew it was a heavy ass tank that pooped out droids, and now I know more about it. And you know, hope you guys learned a little bit something too about it. I mean, I know you guys are much smarter than I am, so you guys probably knew this already. But thanks for being here, though. I appreciate it. All right. Again, the original video will be in the description. Make sure you guys check them out. If you guys enjoy my content, you guys enjoy my reactions, please like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.